All right, ladies and gentlemen, MrSotko here. Welcome back to the channel. Got a whole bunch of good crypto news stuff for you today. And the first thing that I want to talk about is, interestingly, not crypto news, yet it is crypto news. So Congress agrees to that $900 billion COVID stimulus deal after months of failed negotiations. So we've come very close to this stimulus deal and these stimulus checks, probably. I don't know. I don't think I have enough fingers. And I've actually made videos on these where we were getting close, and then they were just like, nah, no, we're not. And the idea here is that the first stimulus checks came out in about March. And you can see that when the whole COVID shutdown thing was announced here, we got the Dow Jones Industrial Average up, and we were doing pretty good. We were nearly at 30,000 points. We are now slightly above that at the all-time high, but it really crashed the market something fierce out of all of that FUD on the news and such, and we went down to about 18,000, so we crashed something like 9 or 10,000, maybe even 11,000 points on the Dow, and that was sort of the beginning of a somewhat correlation of Bitcoin and the traditional stock markets. And as you can see here, it really dumped along with it. We were at 10,000 or so, and we were at that point a few times previous to that. But we went all the way down to 4,800. Some markets were 3,800. Some were very low in terms of Bitcoin, and it was for a very short time. But I would say at about an average of $5,000 there for a brief few days. And then that's when the stimulus checks came out, and you could see the Dow rapidly rising, and you could see Bitcoin rapidly rising from that as well. So with these new stimulus checks coming out, it should lead to a slight Bitcoin increase as the markets will pump even further overall, whether it's the stock market or Bitcoin market. When the $1,200 stimulus checks came out initially, Coinbase actually tweeted that the number of deposits that were equal to $1,200 happened to increase something like 3 or 4-fold, coincidentally. So there was a lot of people that were putting in their stimulus checks into Bitcoin. And now I know a lot of people probably can't afford to do that in an economic crisis like this. However, those stimulus checks, if you were to have put it in Bitcoin at that time in March, are now worth something like nearly 5 times as much. So if you were to buy Bitcoin for $1,200 at $5,000, or $1,200 of it at $5,000, it is nearly at $25,000. I mean, we're something around that $24,000 mark. We're just below it. So give or take a little bit there, about 5 times as much. So that's nothing to shake your fist at. It's something like $6,000 return on your $1,200 stimulus check, if not more. So Congress reached a deal Sunday on a $900 billion coronavirus relief package, a long-delayed effort to boost an American healthcare system, an economy buckling under the weight of the pandemic, which of course was forced by the government itself. So it's not like these stimulus checks are for people who just didn't feel like doing anything during the pandemic. Remember, these businesses were forced shut down. And it's even affected myself and many other people that I know. So congressional leaders announced agreement on a bill which will now send federal assistance to households, small businesses, healthcare providers for the first time in months and fund the government through September 30th. After days of start and stop efforts to finish a deal, they have not released text of the more than $2 trillion legislation, which they hope to pass in the next day. So for now, $900 billion, so nearly $1 trillion. So what's in the bill? The relief plan includes direct payments of $600 to most adults and $600 per child, Pelosi and Schumer said in a statement. So supposedly, if you make more than $75,000 a year, every $1,000 I think that you make above that, it's supposed to be like $5 less, up to $100,000, something like that. And of course, $600 per child, but it's not really clear if it's like 18-year-old children, which are they children? I don't know, but supposedly $600 per child. So it's half that. And that's why I sort of said that it's going to pump Bitcoin slightly. because it's not quite as big as the previous ones, although I bet Coinbase will also report that the number of $600 deposits into Bitcoin into Coinbase has also increased as well. And the Democrats said that it would put $284 billion into Paycheck Protection Program small business loans and include funds for loans from small and minority-owned lenders. It would direct another $20 billion to small business grants and $15 billion to live event venues, which this is the part that I really don't believe in. And whoa, I know if you own a small business that's actually struggling right now, you probably don't really agree with that. However, from my point of view, I think if you're going to fund small businesses with these loans, and mind you, these are actually loans. Now, the $600 checks that go out are not loans, although people could probably argue that they're loans because your taxes will probably increase because this all has to be paid back in some way. However, not a direct loan in that sense. However, these are actually loans to small businesses. So if you're struggling small business, you can get a PPE, Paycheck Protection something, or PPP loan, and feed your business with that and keep it going. However, the problem is that if people are only receiving $600, that's not a lot of money. That's pretty much no rent for anybody. That's not even the amount of rent that I pay. That's a third of the rent that a lot of people pay. That's a few bills maybe. That's maybe like 2 shopping trips to, like, big shopping trips to a grocery store or something like that. It's really not a lot of money. So these congressmen and senators, etc., they're still stuck in 1930, where you could just go out of your house and then just go up to the old railroad and go, yeah, I want a job. And they're like, what kind of experience do you have? Absolutely nothing. I have nothing. I cannot weld. I cannot build. I cannot drive. Nothing. And they're like, come on board, right? And then in 4 months, you can buy a house, like a big Victorian 4,000 square foot house for $2,000, right? You know, that you just worked for. You worked your butt off for 4 months, right? So these people are still living in 1930 era, and they think $600 is a lot of money. They're like, well, we did a really good job. This is $600. So don't get me wrong, like, something's better than nothing, but it's still a slap in the face. And the problem is if people don't have any money to spend, then your business is still not going to receive any revenue. So instead, I think that extra $300 billion should have just gone into people and given an additional $1,200 or $1,800 per person. And if your business is successful and people want to shop at your business, then they're going to take their money to your business, and then there is your revenue that you don't actually have to pay back now. That's just straight up revenue and not a loan. So it really doesn't make sense to me to give failing businesses loans if nobody has any money to actually go into your business and spend money. It just doesn't make any sense to me. But it would also add that $300 federal unemployment supplement and temporarily keep it in place pandemic era programs that expanded unemployment insurance eligibility. It wasn't immediately clear how long each of those measures will last, though. I've heard not very long. I think I heard 5 or 6 weeks, or something like 6 weeks that will last, which I wouldn't be surprised if that is true. Which I think, is a good thing. I suppose if the government itself shut you down, then they should probably help you out a little bit. I don't know on that one. I don't have too much of opinion on that one, but I definitely don't like the Paycheck Protection Program. Again, if nobody has any money, then you're not going to receive any revenue anyway. You're just going to support your business for a little while longer, and then you're going to need another loan. And remember, that's a loan you got to pay back with interest. So moving on to different news. Now, this news is all over the place. I mean, unbelievable. Like, if you go to a cryptocurrency Reddit of any kind, this story is plastered about 6 times on every page. So Tesla's Elon Musk asks about converting large transactions to Bitcoin. Now, this is a little bit overblown. You might think to yourself, oh, he plans on buying and sending a lot of Bitcoin, but hold your horses now. Let me clarify this extremely memey topic at the moment. Elon Musk on Sunday asked about the possibility of converting large transaction of Tesla's balance sheet into Bitcoin. It's just not really true. So Michael Saylor, Chief Executive Officer of MicroStrategy Incorporated, in a tweet to Musk, suggested that the billionaire Tesla founder and head make the move. Somebody tweeted the chief executive officer of MicroStrategy, the guys that are buying $650 plus million in Bitcoin as a part of their investment strategy for their own business, tweeted Elon Musk. The tweet said, "If you want to do your shareholders a $100 billion favor, convert the Tesla balance sheet from US dollars to Bitcoin." Saylor wrote in his tweet. He said, "Other firms on the S&P 500 would follow your lead, and in time it would grow to become a $1 trillion favor." To which Musk replied, "Are such large transactions even possible? Question mark. And then Saylor replied, "Yes, I have purchased over 1.3 billion in Bitcoin in past months and would be happy to share my playbook with you offline," Saylor tweeted. Tesla and Musk could not be reached for a comment. So that's all it really was. However, I think it's a pretty swell idea. Every CEO faces the challenge of how to preserve and enhance shareholder value in the face of this year's unprecedented monetary expansion, Saylor said in a message to Reuters. "Bitcoin is the best solution to the store of value problem faced by every individual, investor, and corporation on Earth." Shares of Tesla rose to a record high in a frantic day of trading as investors geared up for the electric car maker's much anticipated entrance into the benchmark S&P 500 index. Also in the news as well, I don't have the article up, but Musk tweeted about something about Dogecoin, which I don't think is the first time he actually tweeted about Dogecoin, and Dogecoin went up 25% because he tweeted about it. So that's in the news. So if you were holding Dogecoin, might want to take a look at that. Moving on here to different news. Before we get to this one, I just want to clarify once again that Elon Musk merely replied to somebody suggesting that they transfer all of his Tesla stock into Bitcoin or selling it for Bitcoin, et cetera, are large transactions even, that large of transactions even possible on Bitcoin? To which my answer is absolutely yes. I mean, you could transfer $1 trillion worth of Bitcoin. I mean, if you had that much Bitcoin, which its market cap isn't even that big. But the idea is that if you wanted to transfer 1 million Bitcoin at a time, which is something like, what is that even, like $24 billion at the moment, it could be done. And it would actually be just as fast as any other transaction, or just as slow as any other transaction, depending on how you want to look at it. It doesn't really matter the amount of Bitcoin really being moved. It doesn't slow it down that much. Ledger data breach, hacker leaks stolen database on hacker forum. So if you guys have ledgers and you have signed up to the Ledger website and you put in your phone number and your address and stuff, you might want to look into this. You also might want to maybe set up some 2FA. You might want to change some passwords, and you also maybe might want to change your phone number. Also, if you receive any random texts with a link in it saying anything really at all, and you don't know who it's from and it's some link, do not press it because you're about to get SIM swapped. Ledger was involved in a data breach in July 2020, and now hackers leaked the data that was stolen 5 months ago. Back in July this year, hackread.com reported on a data breach involving Paris, France-based hardware wallet provider Ledger. The incident took place on July 25th, in which hackers stole the personal data of customers and subscribers. Ledger was quick to acknowledge the breach, revealing that the stolen data contained email addresses, full names, postal addresses, phone numbers, and details related to products ordered by customers. Now, Hackread can confirm that a threat actor is claiming to have leaked the same Ledger database on an infamous hacker forum. It's worth noting that the stolen database was already being sold on dark web marketplace since it was stolen 5 months ago. So this has already been going on for 5 months. However, again, if you signed up to the Ledger website, put in your phone number, your postal address, your details, you might want to try and change some of that. Maybe your phone number, set up some 2FA, don't click on links, maybe change your email passwords, anything you can to really protect yourself, because this is real. So as for the latest hack, Hackread has seen the database, and according to analysis, it seems to be legitimate. There are 2 text files in the leak folder, one belonging to Ledger customers and the other of its subscribers. The latter contains data of 272,854 users, including, again, full names, country, postal addresses, email addresses, phone numbers. The second file contains the email addresses of 1,075,383 Ledger subscribers. And you can see here a screenshot from the leaked data shows actual addresses, names attached to those emails, full names, addresses, and your phone number. The good news is that there are no passwords in the database. However, at the time of the publishing of this article, the leaked database was already available on different hacking forums, including a highly active Russian language one. It's also noteworthy that the July data breach came to light after a bug bounty hunter reported the incident to the company, despite them immediately taking action and patching the flaw in a short period of time. Only a few weeks later, on July 25th, they found out it had been further exploited by hackers. So again, yeah, maybe protect yourself a little bit. Make sure you got that 2FA. No links, because I've received many of those. Over. I think anybody with a cell phone these days has received some kind of text message, and it just has like a little shortened link in it. If you click that, you're gonna get something stolen from you. So don't do that. So moving on, NiceHash crypto mining pool fully reimburses all of its users affected by the 2017 hack. So I actually made a video about this when this occurred all the way back in 2017. I remember this. It was something like 55 million or 60 million in Bitcoin. It was something like 4,000 some odd Bitcoin that was stolen. I remember I was actually mining on NiceHash at the time, and I had accumulated a balance. I had never used their internal wallet. So technically, I never had anything stolen from me, aside from just a balance of mining, because at the time you needed to mine 0.001 Bitcoin, and Bitcoin was about 9,000 some odd dollars or something like that, or 8,000 at the time, something like that. So it was about $90 in Bitcoin you actually had to mine, or rather other coins that were converted into Bitcoin. That's the way that NiceHash works. And I remember I had a balance of something like $30 and then it got hacked and that balance was gone. So if you want to say that, I got robbed of $30, but not too big of a deal, as other people were using their internal wallet, which I never really realized why, or I never really got the point of why you would actually use that instead of just sending it off the platform whenever you got your crypto to an exchange or to a personal wallet or something like that. And it was actually after that that I had made, or maybe it was just before that, it was around that time that I had made a Vertcoin mining video. And that video actually exploded because NiceHash went under. And there were so many people mining on the easy mode NiceHash, which essentially just download it and then update it and, do a test run of your GPUs. And then you just hit a button and that's it. So it was really easy for a lot of people. So I actually made a Vertcoin mining video, and it was a little bit more complex than just, of course, downloading NiceHash. And that video actually exploded. So I have to thank the NiceHash hack for that, kind of. So it only took 3 years. According to the letter published by Martin Skorjak, I have no idea, CEO of NiceHash, the company fully reimbursed all of its users in what they called the largest theft in Slovenian history, and said that its still unknown criminals stole 4,640 Bitcoin from our users, worth 55 million at the time, and over 100 million US dollars today during a security breach. NiceHash was hacked on December 6, 2017, when its website went down and it was forced to interrupt all of its operations. At the time, the company said in a Reddit post that our payment system was compromised and the contents of the Bitcoin wallet have been stolen. And I remember the details of this too. I remember they tweeted a few times that they were going under maintenance, and then they were going under unexpected maintenance, and then like the next tweet was, "We have been hacked." And that was sort of a meme for a while, because a lot of exchanges and things like that, even before that and after that, would you would suspect that the website had been hacked in some way, and they would say, "Oh, we've been in unexpected maintenance," and then the next tweet or two after that was, "Okay, we've been hacked," and everybody would know that. And then for a while it was creating FUD whenever any exchange or any service went under involving crypto, or any unexpected maintenance, or even just regular maintenance, like we're down for maintenance, like scheduled maintenance. People would claim that they were hacked. And they actually made a video, these guys at NiceHash made a video, and the guy in the background looked like he was in a lot of trouble. It looked like his life was over. They were really scared. He said, at the time, many tried to convince us that there was no solution for us. A flock of various consultants and experts began circulating us, persistently telling us that our story was over. Everybody started offering us different ways to shut the company down most elegantly and make the best of the most of the collapse. But eventually, they did start reimbursing people. I remember they did give 10% or something like that to people pretty fast. And then it took 3 years total, I suppose, to get to that 100% mark. And I remember when NiceHash actually came back online, that it was incredibly profitable to mine on it for a very short period of time. Something like I think something like a 1080 was getting like $12 a day, but it was only for a few days that it was actually that profitable. It's just because people were coming back and paying an exorbitant fee to actually mine on the system again, and to pay for the hash rate, etc. But moving on to coin market cap here, 23,922 Bitcoin. I think we were at 24,200 today until we received a little bit of a dip, but not too big a deal since we're already climbing back up. Ethereum did take quite a bit of a hit, though. It was up quite a bit more today and then sort of dipped down. XRP still just floating around at 56 cents, but the rest of the market doing pretty good. Litecoin was at 122, I believe. I think I saw the highest at. Now at 115 and trying to come back. So I think there's a lot of standing sell orders at the 24,000 period. Once again, that psychological 1,000 barrier. There's going to be a bunch of sell orders at 25 and then at 26 and 27. People aren't particularly unique in the orders that they put up in terms of their psychology. People love those even numbers: 10, 50, 100, 1,000, 10,000, 20,000, 21. People love those. And you can look on any exchange or at almost any coin and scroll up the order book and look at a nice even amount. Like if a coin, like if Ethereum is 643 like it is, check $700 on your exchange in the order book. I bet there is quite a bit of sell orders stacked up there. People love those $700, those psychological barriers. So if you want to oust all those people, put it at $699.98. It'll sell every time, right? Just before everybody else's start to dip and those don't sell. Just play the prices right with them, be smarter. But that's all I have for you guys today. I do have one Coinbase earn left. Just one. I know the FOMO is strong. It is banned. If you click on that, you do the questions, you get free banned, and then I think you can shill it too. Everybody can shill it until it's gone. So one sign up left on those. That'll be in the description, and it'll also be in the comments above. But my social media in the description. Share the video, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. And as usual, I'll see you guys next time.